Good morning. Welcome back in the lecture number 3, Human Anatomy and Physiology. Today we will discuss about the homeostasis and feedback mechanism. So how homeostasis can be maintained, how the feedback mechanism. First we'll discuss about the objective of the homeostasis. What is the objective to learning of these slides? That means homeostasis and the feedback mechanism. Then learning outcome will be there. What will be the learning outcomes of understanding to the feedback mechanism and the homeostasis? Then we will go for the topic. So the objective of learning the homeostasis is, by learning the homeostasis we can understand the physiology of the different organs, because homeostasis is the internal environment. Okay. That means how our internal environment will be settled, how it will work, and the internal environment is related to the different organ functions and the solution. Here you can see the different fluids sorry, present in the body. There's a lot of the fluids are present, fluids playing the role in the homeostasis, like the interstitial fluids, intracellular fluids, intercellular fluids, as well as the different organs, because all the organs are working their functions and they are helping, and they are having the relationship between two different organs among the other organs. So it will maintain the homeostasis. Now, if you see the what will the outcomes out of this, by learning these things you can well explain about it, every individual organ function and how their mechanism will work. Okay, that means that there can be positive feedback mechanism, there can be negative feedback mechanism. Okay, so the outcomes of this slide is that you will be understand and you can well explain about the how homeostasis can be maintained, how the feedback mechanism will work. So now let's start the homeostasis topic. What do you understand by the term of homeostasis? It's a common word. Okay, homeostasis, homeo means sameness, in stasis means standing still, is the condition of equilibrium or balance in the body's internal environment due to the constant interaction of the body's many regulatory process. So in brief, in one line, you can just define homeostasis is the condition of equilibrium in this body internal environment. That means when the body's internal environment is balanced, that will be called homeostasis. Now, homeostasis is a dynamic condition. In response to changing the condition, the body's equilibrium can shift among the points in a narrow range that is compatible with the maintaining the life. Because body will understand. Okay, body will knows when their system is gonna to malfunction, when their organs, individual organs, is not performing their proper functions, so they can help them by the other organs. So we can explain that homeostasis is just a balance of internal environment of the body, and it is a dynamic conditions. When there are any conditions inside the body will be changed, then the body equilibrium is can shifted among the points in a narrow range that is compatible with maintaining the life. When there's any condition is changing in the body, then body will work towards to correct them. For example, the level of glucose in blood normally stays between 70 and 110 milligram. That means 110 milligrams of glucose per 100 milliliter of blood. That means if you take 100 ml blood, you will find there is a 70 to 110 mg of glucose. Each structure from the cellular level to the systemic level contribute in some way to keeping the internal environment of the body within the normal limits. So every organ present inside the body they work hard to maintain these level. That means when you withdraw the 100 ml of blood, you will find there is a amount of glucose present in that 100 ml is 70 to 110 milligram. And directly or indirectly, various organs and fluids and the body mechanism are here to maintain these level. So that is called the equilibrium state. An important aspect of the homeostasis is maintaining the volume and composition of body fluids. Okay, by maintaining the volume, by maintaining the composition of the body fluids, you can balance the internal environment by maintaining the water solution that dissolved chemicals will be there found inside the cell as well as surrounding them. The fluid within the cell is the intracellular fluids. Those fluids that is present inside the cell are called the intracellular fluid. Intra means inside. It is abbreviated as the ICF. And the fluid is outside of the body is the extracellular fluid. Extra means outside. Okay, so it's the extracellular fluid. It is abbreviated as the ECF. The ECF that fills the narrow space between the cell of tissue is known as the interstitial fluid. Same ECF is there. If the fluid is present inside the cell, it will be intracellular. If the fluid is present outside of the cell, it is extracellular fluid. And this ECF, when it will found between the tissue, between the cells, it is called the interstitial fluid. Sorry, it will be called the interstitial fluid. So you can see here there's a three different types of the fluids. One is the ICF, intracellular fluid that present inside the cell. Second is the ECF, extracellular fluid that present outside the cell. Third is the interstitial fluids that present between the cells. As you progress with your studies, you will learn that the ECF differs depending on whether it occurs in the body. ECF within the blood vessel is termed as the blood plasma. Within lymphatic vessel, it is called the lymph. In and around the brain, spinal cord, known as the CSF. In joints, refer to the synovial fluids. And in eyes, called the aqueous humor and vitreous body. The proper functioning of the body cell depends on the precise regulation of the composition of the interstitial fluid surrounding them. Because of this, interstitial fluid is often called the body's internal environment. Now you have to understand. Body homeostasis, that is the balance of the internal environment. It will be only balanced when the fluid composition and balanced. Okay, when the fluid are composition with their proper composition and they are balanced in the amount. Okay. I already explained what is the ECF intracellular fluid, what is the ECF extracellular fluids, and what is the ICF. Again, that is the interstitial fluid. You will surprise that extracellular fluid, ECF, extracellular fluid, when it will present between the cells, it will be called the interstitial fluid. Same ECF is there. Same ECF is there, but if it is migrated and going to the narrow spaces between the cell, it will be different name, cause interstitial fluid. Same ECF, if it migrated within the blood vessel, it will be called blood plasma. Same ECF, it will be goes into the lymphatic system, it will be called lymph. Same ECF, extracellular fluid, if it will be goes into the brain and spinal cord, it will be called the CSF, cerebrospinal fluid. If it goes into the joints, that means knee joints or joints, it will be called the synovial fluids. If it goes into the eye, called the aqueous humor and vitreous body. So there is only one thing, that is the ECF is there. But according to the position, according to the location, according to the nature their name is will be changed. जब तक ये सेल के बाहर है एक्स्ट्रा सेलुलर फ्लूइड है, ओके। और जब यही ईसीएफ दो सेल्स के बीच में आ जाता है तो इट इज इंटरस्टिशियल फ्लूइड। यही ईसीएफ अगर ब्लड वेसल्स में चले गए तो ब्लड प्लाज्मा, यही ईसीएफ लिम्फेटिक सिस्टम में मूव हो गए तो लिम्फ, यही ईसीएफ ब्रेन में चले गए तो सेरेब्रोस्पाइनल फ्लूइड, यही ईसीएफ जॉइंट्स में चले गए तो साइनोवियल फ्लूइड्स, आईज में गए तो एक्वस ह्यूमर। So ECF is the simple things, extracellular fluid, but it has a different name when it will goes and migrated to the different areas. So body functioning is basically depends upon these regulation and composition of the interstitial fluid that is surrounding the organ, surrounding the tissue. You will see every organ having while bathed in the fluids. So interstitial fluid is those things that maintain the core temperature as well as the core function of the organs. Interstitial fluid is there because interstitial fluid is present between the cells. That means these fluids are bathed the tissue, bathed the organ. So interstitial fluid is often called the body's internal environment. सो बॉडी का इंटरनल एनवायरनमेंट अगर मेंटेन करना है तो सबसे पहले क्या मेंटेन होना चाहिए, इंटरस्टिशियल फ्लूइड शुड बी ओके। नाउ हाउ द होम्योस्टेसिस कैन बी कंट्रोल्ड, हाउ? Fortunately, the body has many regulating systems that can usually bring the internal environment back into balance. बॉडी में से बहुत सारे मैकेनिज्म हैं, बहुत सारे रेगुलेटिंग सिस्टम हैं that will bring back the internal environment when it will be disturbed. Okay, so if there is any imbalance occurred in the body, that feedback system, that regulating system, that controlling system will bring back and make it balanced. Most often the nervous system and the endocrine system working together or independently provide the needed corrective measures. और ये controlling system, regulating system कौन से हैं? It could be nervous system by acting through the action potential or nerve impulse, fast acting, या endocrine system हो सकते हैं by acting through the release of hormones, release of chemicals that will be slow conduction. So the nervous system regulates the homeostasis by the sending electrical signals. Action potential to the organ can counteract changes from the balance state, and the endocrine system includes many glands and secrete messenger molecules called the hormone into the blood. So the homeostasis can be controlled by these regulating system, nervous system or endocrine system. And if there is anything mishaps occurred in the body that causes the changes in the internal environment of the body, then these systems will be active. These regulating system will be active and they bring the internal environment back to the balanced. While nerve impulse is typically causes the rapid changes because we know it's action potential, it's an electrical impulse, but hormones usually work more slowly. Both means of regulation, however, work toward the same end, usually through negative feedback system. Both will help in the regulation. One is the fast acting, one is the slow acting. Both are the hard working. So a feedback system or a feedback loop is a cycle of event in which the status of a body condition is monitored, evaluated, changed, remonitored, re-evaluated, and so on. So what is a feedback system? It is a cycle of event in which the status of a body condition is monitored. ये क्या है, एक इवेंट है, साइकिल है इवेंट्स की, जिसमें क्या करते हैं, we monitor the body condition, evaluated them, and if need then we change them, then again remonitor, again reevaluate it, and if need again change, so on. Each monitored variable, such as the body temperature, blood pressure, blood glucose, is termed as a control condition. And any disruption that change a control condition is called a stimulus. We already learned what is the stimulus, what is the stimuli. Now see how it will work. So the feedback system will contain the three basic components: a receptor, a control center, and an effector. एक रिसेप्टर होगा, एक कंट्रोल सेंटर्स होंगे, एंड इफेक्टर्स होंगे. Receptor is a body structure that monitor the changes in a controlled condition. रिसेप्टर क्या होंगे? बॉडी के स्ट्रक्चर होंगे जो क्या मॉनिटर करेंगे? कंट्रोल्ड कंडीशन में. एंड व्हाट इज अ कंट्रोल्ड कंडीशन? ऑल द मॉनिटरिंग वेरिएबल्स जिसको हम मॉनिटर कर रहे हैं. जैसे या तो हम बॉडी टेम्परेचर को मॉनिटर कर रहे होते हैं, या ब्लड प्रेशर को मॉनिटर कर रहे हैं, या ब्लड ग्लूकोज लेवल को मॉनिटर कर रहे हो. सो दीज आर कॉल्ड द कंट्रोल्ड कंडीशन. Okay, so receptor is a body structure that monitor the changes in a controlled condition and send inputs to a control center. So if there is any changes in the blood pressure, if there is any changes in the sugar level, if there is any changes in the body temperature, then these receptor will send the signals toward the control center, and the control center will send us information in the form of the nerve impulse or chemical signals. So certain nerve ending in the skin sense temperature and can detect the changes, such as the dramatic drop in the temperature will be there. After receptor, second point will be control center. Control center in the body is the brain. A set the range of the values within which a controlled condition should be maintained. So our control center, the brain will set a range of values within which the control system can be maintained, evaluated, and the input it receives from the receptor and generate the output command when the needed. For example, if blood pressure is maintained between the 80 and 120, okay, diastolic is 80 and systolic is 120. Now control center is having a set a range of 80 to 120, so blood pressure should be 80 to 120. So it will monitor them, it will be evaluated them. If there is a blood pressure is going to increase above 120 or decrease below the 80, then receptor will send the signals toward the control center. Then control system will give send the information through the action potential or through the nerve impulses or through the by release of hormones, chemical mediators. एक एग्जांपल देखते हैं, बेस्ट एग्जांपल. If then receptor will send the signals toward the control center, because receptor is who which monitor the controlled condition. So receptor control condition को monitor कर रहा है और उसने ये देखा कि blood pressure increase हो रहा है. And blood pressure, when the blood pressure will increase, blood vessels having the pressure, ब्लड प्रेशर में क्या होगा? जो ब्लड वेसल्स हैं उनकी वॉल्स पे प्रेशर डेवलप होगा, and stress receptor will activate. Stress receptor having the sending a signals toward the control center. Now control center is here, is receiving the information from the receptor and then send the signals. Yeah, either it could be worked by the two way, one by the nerve impulse and second by the hormones release. So this control receptor will send the signals to the effector organ. Effector organ will be heart. So action potential going towards the hearts and telling the hearts that you have to reduce your heartbeat. So if the heartbeat is reduced, blood pressure will be down. Okay. So here you can see how the control system is directed the effector organ by sending the electrical impulse, by sending the action potential. दूसरी तरीके से कैसे कर सकता है कंट्रोल? By releasing the hormones. पहले मैंने बताया था ना, टू वे इट कैन कंट्रोल द सिस्टम. Okay, here. Okay, we already explained two way, by one nerve impulse and second hormonally. So how hormonally? Because it will release the chemical NO that will causes to dilation of the blood vessel. सो अगर ब्रेन ने एनओ रिलीज किया और बोला कि ब्लड वेसल्स को डायलेट हो जाने के लिए, तो फिर ब्लड प्रेशर डाउन हो जाएगा. सो कंट्रोल सेंटर विल एक्ट लाइक दैट. Same thing, one another example with you can say the body thermoregulation will be there. In our skin temperature example, the brain act as a control center, receiving the nerve impulse from the skin receptor and generating the nerve impulse as the output. Now third one is the effector. Okay, so we have seen there is a three things. The first one is a receptor, second is a control center, and third one is the effector. Now, an effector is a body structure that receive the output from the control center. तो वो ऑर्गन है, ये वो स्ट्रक्चर है बॉडी का जो कंट्रोल सेंटर से, जो मोटर सेंटर से सिग्नल्स या इंफॉर्मेशन को रिसीव कर रहा है, आउटपुट को रिसीव कर रहा है, एंड प्रोड्यूस a response that will changes the control condition. Nearly every organ or tissue in the body can behave as an effector. When your body temperature drops sharply, your brain sends the nerve impulses to your skeletal muscle. The result is shivering, which generate the heat and raises your body temperature. So ब्लड प्रेशर केसेस में इफेक्टर ऑर्गन कौन से हर्ट हो रहे हैं. दूसरा एग्जांपल देखते हैं हम टेम्परेचर का. अगर बॉडी टेम्परेचर शार्पली डिक्रीज हो रही हो, ओके, व्हेन बॉडी टेम्परेचर इज गोइंग ड्रॉप very sharply, okay, so in this condition receptor will send the signals towards the कंट्रोल सेंटर, ब्रेन सेंटर को भेजेगा कि बॉडी का टेम्परेचर क्या हो रहा है, डाउन हो रहा है. नाउ ब्रेन विल कमांड and it will be seeing the nerve impulse or action potential to the skeletal muscle. Skeletal muscle here is a effector organ. So if skeletal muscle will be causes the start the contraction, तो उसमें सिवरिंग होती है, कपकपी हो जाती है, which will generate the heat and again raise the body temperature. Okay, so that is the process. They can maintain, they can control, they can regulate the homeostasis. A group of receptor and effector communicating with their control center form a feedback system that can regulate controlled condition in the body's internal environment. Now you can see here some stimulus disrupt the homeostasis. कुछ ऐसे स्टिमुलस हैं जिसने होम्योस्टेसिस को डिस्टर्ब कर दिया. By controlled condition that is monitored by receptor that send a signal. So if there's anything that is causes the increase or decrease in the homeostasis, it will be then controlled condition can be monitored by the brain, and then receptor send the signals. Control center will receive input, okay, and give the commands to the effector organ. Then effector organ will perform their functions and maintain the homeostasis. Now in this process, there is a two things. One is a negative feedback system and one is a positive feedback system. See how negative feedback system will work and how positive. A negative feedback system reverse a change in the controlled condition. Reverse a change in a controlled condition considered the regulation of blood pressure. So blood pressure is the force of exerted by the blood as it presses against the wall of the blood vessel when the heart beats faster or very harder and maybe increases. If some internal stimulus causes the blood pressure to rise, if any internal or external stimulus will causes the blood pressure, that is the control condition, to rise, the following sequence of the events occur. The baroreceptor, the pressure sensitive nerve cell located in the wall of the certain blood vessels, detect the higher pressure. So the baroreceptor send a nerve impulse. So what will happen first? Let's see. It is an example of the negative feedback system. पर negative feedback system होता क्या है? It will reverse the change in a controlled condition. जो भी चेंजेस हो रहा है उसको ये रिवर्स कर देगा और वापस उसके ओरिजिन प्लेस पे ले आएगा. That is called the negative feedback system. बीपी अगर ज़्यादा हो रहा है तो उसको वापस उसके पोजीशन पे ले आएगा, कम कर देगा। ब्लड शुगर यदि लो हो रहा है तो उसको वापस ले आके ऊपर सही कर देगा। तो नेगेटिव फीडबैक सिस्टम इज द रिवर्स अ चेंज इन कंट्रोल कंडीशन। एग्जाम्पल देखते हैं बीबी का। BP is the lateral pressure exerted by the blood on the wall of the blood vessels. Okay, so when there is a pressure exerted by the blood on the wall of the blood vessel, it will be called the BP. And it will be reason because the heartbeat is gonna too fast and faster. BP will increases. So in this case, there is a baroreceptor is there, a pressure sensitive nerve cell that will be called baroreceptor. So when there is a pressure occurred on the wall of the blood vessel, this receptor will activate and send the signals toward the higher pressure, toward the higher center, control center. So the baroreceptor send a nerve impulse input to the brain. Brain here acts as a control center, which interpret the impulses and respond by sending the nerve impulse. Okay, जिसमें क्या हो गया, जिसने इंटरप्रेट किया, इम्पल्स को रीड किया, एंड फिर उसको रिस्पॉन्ड देंगे बाय सेंडिंग द नर्व इम्पल्स, आउटपुट देंगे किसको, इफेक्टर ऑर्गन्स को, टू द हार्ट एंड ब्लड वेसल्स। हार्ट रेट डिक्रीज एंड ब्लड वेसल्स डायलेट, जिसके कारण बीपी क्या हो जाएगा, कम हो जाएगा, डाउन हो जाएगा। बीपी बढ़ रहा था, अब कम हो जाएगा। सो इट इज द नेगेटिव फीडबैक। सो दिस कंडीशन विल बी रिटर्न टू द कंट्रोल्ड कंडीशन एंड होम्योस्टेसिस इज restored. The activity of the effector causes BP to the drop, a result that negates the original stimulus, and this is why it is called the negative feedback system. So some stimulus disturb the homeostasis, then blood pressure is gonna here, receptor is sending a signals to the control center where brain will interprets and the inputs and sends the signals output to the effector organs. Then effector organ will help to maintain the homeostasis again back to normal condition. Second things जो हमारे पास है, that will be the positive feedback system. One is the negative feedback system, second is the positive feedback system. A positive feedback system tends to strengthen or reinforce a change in one of the body's control condition. नेगेटिव में क्या था, इट विल रिवर्स द चेंज, जो चेंज हो रहा है उसको रिवर्स करेगा। बट पॉजिटिव क्या कर रहा है, स्ट्रेंथन और रेनफोर्स किसे, चेंजेस इन द बॉडीज कंट्रोल कंडीशन। बॉडी के कंट्रोल कंडीशन में जो चेंजेस हो रही है, बॉडीज के कंट्रोल कंडीशन में जो परिवर्तन हो रहा है, उसे क्या करेगी, स्ट्रेंथ प्रोवाइड करेगी, रेनफोर्स करेगी, बढ़ावा देगी। सो अ पॉजिटिव फीडबैक सिस्टम will strength, will reinforce the changes that is occurring in the controlled conditions, in the body's controlled condition. So अगर बीपी बढ़ रहा है तो पॉजिटिव फीडबैक सिस्टम क्या करेगा, इसे और बढ़ाएगा, रेनफोर्स करेगा, बढ़ावा देगा, स्ट्रेंथ प्रोवाइड करेगा। यदि ब्लड शुगर लेवल इंक्रीज हो रहा है, देन पॉजिटिव सिस्टम क्या करेगा, पॉजिटिव फीडबैक उसे और बढ़ाएगा। सो a positive feedback system operates similarly to a negative feedback system except for the way the response affect the control condition. Process same है इसके भी। Positive system, that means process same means positive system, in the positive feedback system, when there is any changes occur, the receptor will send the signals toward the brain. Brain will give the command to the effector organ, and effector organs will perform their function. The same the process, except for the way of response. डिफरेंस किसका होगा, रिस्पॉन्स का डिफरेंस होगा। नेगेटिव फीडबैक सिस्टम में कंट्रोल कंडीशन को रिवर्स करके मेंटेन किया जा रहा था, चेंजेस जो हो रहे हैं उसको रिवर्स करके कंट्रोल कंडीशन को नॉर्मल किया जा रहा था। बट पॉजिटिव फीडबैक सिस्टम में उसे और रेनफोर्स किया जा रहा है, बढ़ावा दिया जा रहा है। द कंट्रोल सेंटर still provide the commands to an effector But this time, the effector produces a physiological response that adds to or reinforces the initial change in the controlled condition. The action of a positive feedback system continues until it is interrupted by the some mechanism. How the negative feedback system will interrupt it? Because when there is a BP is increasing, a pressure on the wall, so receptor receiving a signal, sending a signal to the brain give the command, and ब्लड प्रेशर इज गोना टू डाउन. अगर ब्लड प्रेशर डाउन हो गया तो वॉल पे प्रेशर नहीं जा रहा है, वॉल पे प्रेशर नहीं जा रहा है, तो रिसेप्टर एक्टिवेट नहीं होगा, रिसेप्टर एक्टिवेट नहीं होगा तो सिग्नल से ब्रेन को नहीं जाएगा. तो इस तरह से नेगेटिव फीडबैक सिस्टम क्या कर रहा था, टर्मिनेट हो जा रहा था. ओके, इंस हो जा रहा था, इंटरप्ट हो जा रहा था. So when in the negative feedback system, when the changes reverse the controlled condition, it is interrupted. But how in the positive feedback system? The control center still provide the command to an effector same way. Everything is working same way. The action of positive feedback system continue. जो पॉजिटिव फीडबैक सिस्टम का एक्शन है वो कंटिन्यू रहेगा. अगर बीपी बढ़ रहा है तो बढ़ता ही जाएगा, अगर घट रहा है तो घटता ही जाएगा, शुगर लेवल बढ़ रहा है तो बढ़ता ही जाएगा. इफ द बीपी इज इंक्रीजिंग, it will be goes on. If the sugar is increasing, it will goes on until it is interrupted by the some mechanism. ये तब तक बढ़ते जाएंगे जब तक कि कोई दूसरी मैकेनिज्म इसको इंटरप्ट नहीं करेगी, कोई दूसरा एपिसोड, कोई दूसरा इवेंट, अनदर इवेंट that is causes the interruption in their path until the feedback system is goes on and on. एग्जाम्पल देखते हैं. A normal childbirth provides a good example of a positive feedback system. Normal childbirth, a very good example of a positive feedback system. कैसे? The first contraction of the labor. Contraction of the labor हुआ, that means it's a stimulus sending a signals. It will help to push a part of the fetus into the cervix, the lowest part of the uterus, जो then which open into the vagina. So there is a contraction in the labor in the muscles, so that will stretching receptor, stretching sensitive nerve cells, the receptor is activated, and monitor the amount of stretching of the cervix, control condition, how much stretching is there. So as the stretching increases, अगर control condition increase हो रहा है, stretching increases, they send a nerve impulses to the brain, they send the signals to the receptor to the brain control center. कब भेज रहे हैं? जब when the stretching happened या contraction happened in the labor, during the labor. Okay, so जो यूटेरस में जब contraction हो रहा होता है तो एक सिग्नल डेवलप हुआ, इस सिग्नल गोज टू द ब्रेन कंट्रोल मोटर सेंटर, कंट्रोल सेंटर. Resulting control center will interpret the signals, then release the hormone oxytocin into the blood. तो उसने आउटपुट में क्या किया? ऑक्सीटोसिन को रिलीज कर दिया. नेगेटिव फीडबैक होता तो ऑक्सीटोसिन क्या करता? कंट्रैक्शन को कम कर देता. बट इट इज अ पॉजिटिव फीडबैक मैकेनिज्म. ऑक्सीटोसिन causes the muscles in wall of the uterus. अब ये इफेक्टर ऑर्गन्स कौन हो गया यहाँ पे? यूटेरस. टू कॉन्ट्रैक्ट इवन मोर फोर्सफुली. ऑक्सीटोसिन क्या कर रहा है? और फोर्सफुली कॉन्ट्रैक्शन करवा रहा है. कॉन्ट्रैक्शन तो पहले ही हो रहा था लेबर में. लेबर में जब तक कॉन्ट्रैक्शन नहीं होगा चाइल्ड बर्थ नहीं होंगे. ओके, baby born is only possible when there is a full contraction occurred during the labor in the uterus. So पहले small contraction हुई, then there is a contraction will increase a little bit. So if the contraction will be increased a little bit, then it will send the signals to the brain. Brain will release the oxytocin into the blood. So this oxytocin will causes the and reinforce the contraction, or contraction cause करने लगे. by acting on uterus. So the contraction pushes the fetus further down the uterus, which stretches the cervix even more. So इस contraction ने क्या किया, fetus को push किया और uterus के अंदर जो cervix और open हो गया and baby birth होगा. So the cycle of stretching, hormone release, even stronger, the contraction is interrupted only by the birth of baby. So जैसे ही baby का birth हो गया, there is a no more need of stretching. Okay, there is, so if there is a stretching is gonna to end, then sending a signals toward the brain is gonna to end, then brain releasing oxytocin will be interrupted, will be end. So then stretching of the cervix ceases and oxytocin is no longer received. तो अगर cervix का जो stretching हो जाएगी, जो उसकी खिंचाव हो रही थी, अगर वो सीज हो गई तो कोई सिग्नल्स नहीं जा रहा है, जिसके कारण ऑक्सीटोसिन का रिलीज रुक जाएगा. So these examples suggest some important difference between the positive and negative feedback system. Because a positive feedback system continually reinforces a change in the control condition, some event outside the system must shut it off. So in the positive feedback system, it will give the reinforce to a changes in the control condition. So control condition में जो भी changes हो रही है उसको ये बढ़ावा दे रहा है. So it could be stopped by the someone outside or some other mechanism. What will happen if the positive feedback system is not stopped? Then what will happen? So it will causes a life threatening condition in the body. अगर बीपी बढ़ रहा है तो बढ़ता जाएगा, शुगर बढ़ रहा है तो बढ़ता ही जाएगा, और ये क्या हो जाएगी, लाइफ थ्रेटनिंग कंडीशन हो जाएगी, ये बॉडी के लिए हार्मफुल्स हो जाएंगे. बेबी का बर्थ हो गया, आफ्टर दैट देयर इज इवन मोर कॉन्ट्रैक्शन देयर इन द यूटेरस, ऑक्सीटोसिन रिलीज्ड, so it will be the life threatening condition. The action of a negative feedback system, by contrast, slow and then stops as the controlled condition return to its normal site. The action of the negative feedback system, by contrast, slows and then stops as the controlled condition return to normal state. Usually, positive feedback system reinforce the condition that do not happen very often. A negative feedback system regulate the condition in the body that remain the fairly stable over long periods. So these are the two quite little bit difference between the positive and negative feedback system. Usually, you will see the positive feedback system is reinforce the condition. कंडीशंस को बढ़ावा दे रहे हैं, जो चेंजेस हुई हैं बॉडीज में उसको बढ़ावा दे रहे हैं, जो कि नेगेटिव फीडबैक सिस्टम में नहीं होता है. नेगेटिव फीडबैक सिस्टम ये क्या करते हैं, बॉडी सिस्टम्स को कंट्रोल्ड कंडीशन में ले आते हैं फॉर अ लॉन्ग पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. So that is the difference between the positive and negative feedback system. Now see, these are the positive feedback and negative feedback system. It shows the positive feedback. Contraction of the wall of the uterus forces the baby head or body into the cervix. जो कॉन्ट्रैक्शन हो रहा है यूटेरस के वॉल में, उसने बेबी को फोर्स किया. सो क्या हो गया, सर्वाइक्स का स्ट्रेचिंग होगा, सर्वाइक्स का स्ट्रेचिंग होगा, रिसेप्टर एक्टिवेट हो जाएंगे, रिसेप्टर एक्टिवेट होंगे, सो सेंडिंग करेंगे सिग्नल्स को कंट्रोल सेंटर को, कंट्रोल सेंटर पे ब्रेन इंटरप्रेट्स करेंगे, देन इट विल बी गिव द आउटपुट और ऑक्सीटोसिन को रिलीज करेंगे, एंड ऑक्सीटोसिन विल वर्क ऑन द इफेक्टेड ऑर्गन्स. कौन से इफेक्टेड ऑर्गन्स, यूटेरस. तो द मसल्स इन द वॉल ऑफ द यूटेरस is contracted more forcefully, and then baby bodies is the move out, or stretches, cervical stretches will be more and the baby will be move out. So then the positive feedback will be interrupted. As long as the all body's control condition remain within the certain narrow limits, body cell function efficiently, negative feedback system maintain the homeostasis and the body will stay healthy. Should one or more component of the body lose their ability to contribute to homeostasis, however, the normal equilibrium among the body process may be disturbed. If the homeostasis imbalance is moderate, a disorder or disease may occur. If it is severe, death may result. If the homeostasis is going to disturb, then we know how it can be maintained. So these systems will maintain the homeostasis and body stay healthy. Every organ, every single component of the homeostasis disturbed, if there's any changes occurred, if the homeostasis imbalance is moderate, then it will causes the, maybe you can understand it is harmful for the body. If there's an imbalance in the homeostasis, it is harmful for the body and it can be lethal. A disorder is any abnormality of structure or function. Disease, a more specific term of an illness characterized by a recognizable set of signs and symptoms. Local disease affect one part of the limited region of the body. Systemic disease affect either the entire body or several part of it. A local disease just affect a particularly one region, one area, while systemic problem that will affect the whole systems. A person with the disease may experience the symptoms, subjective changes in the body function that are not apparent to an observer, like the headache, nausea, anxiety, and whatever the clinicians observe, that will be the sign. So the sign of disease can be either anatomical, such as the swelling or a rashes, or physiological, such as the fever, high blood pressure, or paralysis. So the sign can be anatomical and the physiological. The signs that deals with the why, when, and where disease occur and how they transmit it among the individuals in a community is known as the epidemiology. If you're talking about the disease transmission, how it is spread and how is transmitted among the individuals, their studies will be called epidemiology. So that's the reason they are asking about the science of deals with the why, when, where disease occur and how they can transmit to the individuals. So that study will be called the epidemiology. Now there is a set of question first, which of the listed terms is described by, now which of the listed term, कौन सा से नीचे listed terms है जो described clearly by all the chemical process that take place in the organelles and cytoplasm, the cell of the body. Okay, this time you can see there, I did not put the answer of the first slides to slide. Now you have to think which one is correct here. All the chemical process that take place in the organelles and cytoplasm of the cell body, that will be called the metabolism. So yes, metabolism is the correct answer. To which of the following does the tissue level of a structural organization refer? Tissue level of a structural organization refer. Now you have to understand. We are talking about the tissue level. Okay. So what do you think? Which one could be right for the tissue level structural organization talking? You will see there's a different answer. Atoms, mitochondria, nephron, muscle, nervous, connective epithelium. These are the tissue. Four tissue: muscular tissue, nervous tissue, connective tissue, epithelial tissue. So answer D is correct. Answer number Question number third. The anatomical position could be described as which of the following? So standing, displaying the ventral surface of the body. That is the answer C is correct. Which of the following are the contents of the ventral cavity? You can see the viscera is the ventral cavity. So answer C is correct. Which of the standard relationship is correct? Answer A, the heart is superior to the large intestine. Yes, it is correct. Other is incorrect. Complete the sentence correctly. Cervical vertebra are superior to the rib cage. Cervical vertebra superior to the rib cage. Inferior to the thoracic vertebra. located between. So yes, A is superior to the rib cage. Correct. What does the process known as the anabolism refer to? The use of energy for producing a chemical substance. Yes, anabolism. Small molecules are get together, meet together, and form a new things. Which term describe the location of the adrenal glands with reference to the kidney? C. Superior. Which of the following term is not used to identify a region of the abdomen? D. Right sacral. Left hypochondriac is the reason, hypogastric is the reason, epigastric is the reason, but right sacral is not a reason. So D is correct. What structure separate the thoracic cavity from the abdominopelvic cavity? Thoracic cavity, that means a chest in which the rib cage and lungs are the there. These are the thoracic cavity. Abdominal cavity in the stomach, GIT. So you can understand both are differentiated by the diaphragm. Both are divided by the diaphragm. So answer B, diaphragm is correct. You can prefer the different books, Tartora, Bill Melinda, and Robinson Cotton for these explaining and elaboration of these topics. Okay, so today we learn about the homeostasis, how homeostasis can be balanced, and what will happen if it is imbalanced. Simultaneously, we learned the feedback mechanism, then how positive feedback mechanism work, how negative feedback mechanism work. Okay, so for the today class, thank you, and then we will meet again in the next class. Thank you.